The dark side of feminism. The Witcher's Yennefer shows us the dark side of feminism. I can already tell this is going to be one dumb article, and it is. It really is. I'm not going to talk about the show. I'm not going to talk about the casting. I'm just going to talk about this crazy person's article, okay? Because it's a joke. At first glance, Yennefer of Vengerberg, the seductive sorceress from Netflix's The Witcher, seems like a feminist icon. Born poor, obscure, and deformed, she harnesses her magical abilities and becomes a powerful mage, magically trading in her ability to have children for sexual power and professional advancement. A poor, defenseless woman who takes control of her destiny and wields power over men. Seems like a model modern feminist woman. All hail Yennefer! All hail my ass, because it is just as feminist. Now, I think this sets the stage for how nonsensical this person is and how nonsensical their thinking is. Apparently, if you get rid of your ability to have kids, that makes you a feminist icon. Oh, for your professional advancement. Because that's the narrative that feminism has been selling. That women should just become men. They should give up on having a family, focus on their career, and then, I don't know, become CEOs and alone with like 20 cats. Alone, with no families. Never mind that that's probably not what most women want. Now, if women want to do that, I'm all for it. But I think these feminists are lying to women and young girls when they tell them, well, do feminism, you'll be happy. I don't think that's true. I think it's not for most women. But look what they go on to say after saying all hail Yennefer. Indeed, that's how many people see her. Feminist fans of the show have adopted the character of Yennefer, played by Anya Chalotra, as a new addition to the feminist canon. Look, I played the game. I really do want to talk about like the casting, but apparently you're not allowed to point out that a lot of the characters in the show are nothing like the games. As a critic, these things bother me. But forget about that. The real craziness here is that apparently they think that Yennefer is feminist, but there's one big problem. As a new addition to the feminist canon, on Twitter, for example, the praise flows freely. Don't forget that this is Yennefer of Vengerberg's world, and we just live in it. You go, girl. Girl power. These people are top tier cringe. Like, oh, she's so powerful and brave and strong. It's so amazing. I don't like Netflix. I don't like their adaptions. I don't like their writers. I think they're cringy. I think they're progressive. And I think they're woke. And I think it ruins a lot of adaptions. I don't like The Witcher. And I fully expect it to crash and burn because of bad writing. Now, from what I've heard, the show focuses on the women, even though the game is about Geralt, the Witcher. You know, the guy in the title, the guy on the cover. Oh, never mind that. And they barely show him at all, and there's barely any monster fights. The ultimate feminist choice. Critics also love the fact that Yennefer trades in her uterus, literally, in order to follow her ambition. Doesn't this strike you as a little bit mentally disturbed and unwell? That apparently the feminist message is you need to get rid of your uterus. What if these women want a family? Most women want a family. Most women don't want to give away their uterus. So why is feminism pushing for this? What is the real motive? What is this? I can only think it as malice, as bad intentions by people who hate the world and just want everyone to suffer. When I see modern feminism, it just seems like it's not really good for most people. Yet they're trying to push it and force it on people. You get the sense that Yennefer will represent a lesson about how greatness can come from people, women especially, who we overlook the most, writes Alex Abad Santos of Vox. Melissa Leon of The Daily Beast. Yennefer relies on her trained magical abilities to get what she wants. Blah 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 blah. This is fairly typical of modern feminist refrain. It was the patriarchy. What is wrong? I'm trying, guys. I'm trying here. That convinced you to stay home caring for your family. So you get out there and you get a job. What if women are happy staying at home and caring for their families? What if women are happy not working and being a mother? What if women don't want to do that? Are they wrong? Why are they wrong? Are you violating their choice as women? This is my problem with the, as the author puts it, modern feminist refrain. But they praise Yennefer for this. This is exactly what Yennefer is trying to do. Her ambition and her desire to exact revenge on those who have mistreated her cause her not to think twice about doing whatever it takes to achieve what are essentially her career goals. The true face of feminism comes out. I know why they like Yennefer, and I know why they said that. You see, these are people, usually Western women who have equality, who have equal rights, who live in very safe, very nice nations with plenty of privilege. But they think they've been wronged because feminist ideology convinced them that men were evil, that society was wrong, and that they were victims, even though they're equal, even though they have equal rights, even though most people treat women very well. And they want revenge, and they're willing to do whatever it takes. And when you really think about it, isn't that modern feminism? You know, there's people in the world who need equal rights, human rights. I like the word, what's it called? Egalitarianism? Egalitarianism? It means that everyone's treated the same. But if that was true, there's people out there who actually need egalitarianism. People suffering in a lot of religious countries where women don't have rights, where they're silenced, where they're punished, where they're mistreated and abused. But the feminists don't complain about that. They complain about the West, where people are already equal and have rights. Doesn't that show you that they're disturbed individuals who don't actually care about women's rights? Unlike me, I'm a true proponent of gender equality. I think if you can do it to a man, you can do it to a woman. I think that women should be treated exactly the same as men, with no differences. Because imagine that. Imagine a world where women also have to go to the draft. Feminists should be fighting for this right. They want to be equal. If they want to be equal, then they should be advocating for the draft. But they don't. Really makes you think now, doesn't it? So they say she gave up her ability to be a mother, and wow, this makes her such a feminist icon. Wow. But here's the catch. There's only one problem. Yennefer regrets it. I believe it would be worth it, she says, that this would be my legacy, the greatest mage to ever grace court. Instead, I've spent the last 3 decades cleaning up stupid political messes. Power and authority and sex appeal aren't actually all they're cracked up to be. And Yennefer realizes that the one thing that would give her life meaning, make her existence matter in some way, is motherhood. Feminism in a nutshell, folks. That's all. We're done. It's a red pill. It's an accidental red pill, but a red pill nonetheless. Yennefer has all the power. She has all the status. She's high in her career. And just like real life, she's realizing that it's all cracked up to be. Political squabbles. Corporations that don't care about you. Prestige. 60-hour work weeks. No husband, no children. Nothing. Some women are happy with that, and more power to them. But not Yennefer. And I think not a lot of women in reality. She suddenly wants the thing she gave up without a second thought, a baby. Yep. But instead of understanding the lesson here, maybe you could learn a lesson as a feminist. They can't accept it because it undermines the feminist narrative that all women should just forget about children, forget about families, and just work until they're dead, I guess, all alone. It's startling, actually, given the current trend of empowered women wielding swords and belittling men. Oh, is that what being a feminist is about? Belittling men? See, this is my problem with modern feminism. It's toxic. It's not equal and it's not right to put down men just so you can elevate women. Just like it's not right to put down women to elevate men. That's equality. That's egalitarianism. You sound like a child. You sound like a bad person. You're wrong. I'm sorry, you're wrong. A character who forcefully conveys what a loss it is to give up motherhood, but one who conveys too the sacrifices inherent in being a woman. A character who shows that the idea of having it all, so beloved by feminists, is really a myth. Because it is a myth. Wake up and smell the rosarita. I'm sorry, buddy. Because it is. It's a myth. You can't have it all. That's one of the biggest problems with the feminist narrative. You cannot have it all. No one can. There's no one in this world who can do it all. You have to give up something. There are trade-offs. You can get ahead in your career, but you're going to get behind on family. What's going to last you longer? When you die, what are you going to remember? What are you going to think about? Oh, I remember my fancy job in my fancy office. Wasn't that great where I worked 80-hour weeks? Are you going to think, I'm surrounded by my family and my loved ones, and they care about me, and I've left a part of myself behind, a legacy that will carry on into the future. I help shape the future of these people. I love them, I care for them dearly, and they do me. Or are you going to die alone, on your deathbed, with no one? No one. But gee, I'm sure I got that promotion. Life is wonderful. Maybe you're happy with that, but a lot of people would not be. I'll tell you one thing. I would rather die surrounded by my family than die alone. If we want hard, changing careers that will take us out of the home, we sacrifice our time with our children. Yes. Or the ability to have children at all. Yes. If we want to stay home full-time with our children, we give up the accolades and intellectual stimulation of a career. Yes, you do. You can't have it all. Yennefer's conviction that she made the wrong choice and that motherhood is what brings true fulfillment is a powerful battle cry for those of us who feel the same. Yeah, it is. Not everyone feels that way, but I would wager that most women probably feel that way. And who are you to tell them that it's wrong? Who are you to tell them that they should make a great mistake in never having kids, only for them to regret it when they cannot have kids anymore? You stole that from them. You are harming women. You're hurting people. All because you want to prove yourself right. Your stupid idea is correct. Maybe you should just let people choose for themselves instead of all this propaganda, all this empowerment that's really harm and harmful. Women get to choose what they do with their lives. So do men. So to me, these feminists are no different than the people they claim to be against. They're just authoritarian oppressors who are trying to force people to do things that they may regret. Feminist critics, of course, disagree. But of course, they're upset. Do I really need to explain this? Oh, this is terrible. How dare she want kids? How dare she? Like, who do they sound like? These feminist critics sound like the patriarchy. They claim that there is one, which I don't believe, but they sound like it. They're telling this woman what she's allowed to believe. I know she's a fictional character, but it's analogous to real life. It's bull. So let's just finish this off. Unsurprisingly, it's the things that Yennefer does to wield her power, slaying a dragon, seducing men, and making men do embarrassing things through magic, that have caused feminist fans to adopt her. Yeah, because apparently being a feminist is about being OP, being a Mary Sue, seducing men, and making men do embarrassing things. I want you to reverse that. What if it's a man slaying dragons, seducing women, and embarrassing women through magic, making them do embarrassing things? I bet you these feminist icons would be like, oh my god, that's such a toxic masculinity, a toxic character. Double standards, hypocrisy, nonsense. These people they're wrong. But Yennefer's character is very clear. None of those things are worth it. Now, I wouldn't say they're not worth it, but Yennefer regrets it. And if she wants a kid, who are you to tell her otherwise? They all crumble to dust and are nothing but superficial pleasure. Yes! Why does it seem like a lot of woke people, a lot of woke individuals who say, choose consumerism, choose hedonism? Who cares about things that actually matter? It is superficial. A lot of it is superficial. A family is legacy. It's the future. It's a chance to help shape the world. Characters like Yennefer ask us to take stock. If we wait too long to have children because we're pursuing a career, we may find we're too old to conceive. If we have children and leave them in the care of someone else so that we can go out and fulfill our professional goals, we may find that we regret missing pivotal moments in our children's development. Conclusion. It isn't that we can't have careers or lives outside the home or interests beyond our children. Nobody said that. This is the worst part about modern feminism, the narrative. Well, if you're a mom, that's it. All you can do is be a mom. Nobody said that. Nobody said you can't have a hobby. Nobody said you could have an interest outside of home. Hell, nobody said you couldn't have your own business. You know you can work from home. There's things you can do from home. There's a lot of mommy bloggers and people who have started home businesses. Even if you're just doing a side hustle, it's possible. You can make time. Maybe not full-time, but part-time. Who knows? It's simply that we must acknowledge that each individual choice has consequences. What's so pungent about Yennefer's story is the truth of these choices. You can't take them back. Should choose wisely. Ah, yes. And I have a solution. Like if you're one of these feminists, right, and you wanna have a career, how about this? Let the dad stay at home. Let your husband be a stay-at-home dad. Now I guarantee you that most likely, because this has been found in studies, most career women, they refuse to date down. They refuse to date anyone that makes less money than them. They want a man who makes more money and also works. So they're shooting themselves in the foot, because if they would just marry a humble man who could be a good stay-at-home dad, they could have a family. The dad could take care of the kids. They could go out and have a career and be the breadwinner. I think a lot of these people, they're just trying to have it all, but you can't. That's a solution. That's a feminist thing. Yeah, stay-at-home dad. Yeah, sure. So why don't you do that? I think I know the answer. I think it's because you actually are a hypocrite. But that, my friends, is merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. What do you think about this? Is this the dark side of feminism? Actually, this guy has a really good point. It is the dark side of feminism. You got to make a choice. You have to make a choice. Like, every action has consequences. You can't have it all. Women out there, what do you think? I love hearing people's opinions. Believe it or not, I do read a lot of comments. I do reply. I enjoy the feedback. So let me know what you think. Now, as always, if you want to support the content that I make, you can join me on Patreon or Subscribestar for as low as $1. There is a joining bonus. If you're interested in that sort of thing, you can check out more details on that in the links in my description. Patreon, Subscribestar, whatever you're comfortable with. You can also donate via Bitcoin and share this video. Like, if you know a Witcher fan, or you know someone that enjoys the show, or even a feminist who thinks the show is great, maybe show it to them. Well, never mind. I don't want feminists seeing this and getting all angry at me because I dared to have an opinion. I dared to actually encourage them to maybe think twice so that they don't regret things in their lives. Because, that's truly wow, how dare I care about them and their futures, and how dare I try to help and have consideration for people who, honestly, I owe nothing. Just forget it. Share it if you want. Whatever. As always, thanks for watching. This has been Mr. Obvious, and I'll see you all next time.